Hello everyone, I'm Fukuzawa Reiko, first grade. Please be gentle with me, okay? This may be a little sudden, but do any of you like flowers? Emi-chan, do you? Yes. Ah! You said yes. Ooh, you never know what's gonna happen next. So, Emi-chan, how about cherry blossom flowers? Do you perhaps love those? I do. So you're a romantic, huh? But you have good tastes. To tell you the truth, I love them as well. When I went on holidays not too long ago, I saw a really famous old cherry blossom tree. It must have been around the middle of April, I think. The trunk was so large that it was impossible to wrap your arms around it alone, and the branches drooped in all four directions, cherry blossom flowers blooming in each and every gap between them. It was like a cherry blossom curtain. I just stood there, looking the flowers up and down. Then, I heard a voice. It sounded like it came from that old tree. I approached the tree, like it was pulling me near, and pressed my ear to it. From inside the trunk, I could hear a sound like water with nutrients mixed in. I'm so tired. Please, won't you let me rest now? The voice said. Surprised, I looked around, but nobody was there. Then I looked down at the tree trunk, and thousands of little nutrients were on it. There's no denying that that old cherry blossom tree has lived a much longer life than regular ones. But in going to such lengths to prolong its life, I think the tree grew tired. I think it's the same as when people try to extend their life longer than they should by using medicine and other such machines. I felt bad for the tree, and there was nothing I could do for it. You think that I was just imagining things? No, it wasn't like that at all. I clearly heard it with my own ears. I think it was probably the voices of the fairies residing in the tree, rather than the tree itself though. Ever since then, I've been convinced of something. That's right, fairies live in the flowers and trees. That's why, if you mess around with them, show them horrible things, treat them poorly or violently, plants get angry. Although I don't think that old cherry blossom tree was ever subjected to such things. You've seen it as well, haven't you, Emi-chan? The big cherry blossom tree behind the old school building. That single, lonely tree that seems to have been forgotten there. They say that cherry blossom is over 1,000 years old. That's why it's so big. To tell you the truth, they were supposed to build a second sports ground behind the new school building. But, because that tree is there, they couldn't. Do you know why? Because whenever someone tries to cut down or dig up that tree, accidents happen. Apparently, 3 construction workers have died because of it. One worker who tried to cut it down was crushed to death beneath a steel frame. The other 2 workers who tried to dig the tree up were struck by various unexplainable fevers for a week, leaving them on the edge of death before they finally died. Nobody can touch that tree. You can't even move it to a new location. Not even purifying it or anything like that has worked. Scary, right? Not really. I heard that. If so, why don't you try cut the tree down yourself? I can't do that. Right? Nobody could do such a terrifying thing. Whew, thank God. I was worried about what I should do if you suddenly pulled an axe out and said, "Let's go cut it down." I probably would have run away. I'm glad you have at least some common sense. But isn't it fascinating? That cherry blossom tree. Trees are smart, and when they're raised normally, they're able to understand things, meaning they don't get angry or try to get in the way of things. Haven't you ever heard about other trees that lay a curse when you try to cut them down? That's because people didn't fully explain the situation to them, or because there are evil spirits living inside them. That's what I think. And so, the circumstances of what was happening were explained to that cherry blossom tree. That it was being moved to a new place, and that they wouldn't harm it. That's what I heard. But the tree wouldn't allow it, so it must mean there's an evil spirit inside it. Don't you think so as well? I don't. Oh, really? That's what you think, huh? So you probably don't believe the story about people getting injured as well, huh? If so, I'm scared for you. Emi-chan, you'll be cursed. But for sure, there are lots of bad stories told about that tree. I'll tell you one of them. This all took place several decades ago now. The area around the tree was used as an area to hold dead bodies during the war. Supposedly, they dug holes around the tree and tossed the bodies in. Scary, right? But it wasn't just dead bodies. They even threw in those who were still alive, but with little hope of help. It was just like a picture of hell. They threw in dead body after dead body. They couldn't fill the hole in until it was full, so the stench of rotting flesh was awful. The wind even carried the smell to those far away from the area. It would be followed by the sad, pained, vengeful screams of those still alive. Things like, "It hurts," and "I can't breathe." But not just that. The pain of those who couldn't put their thoughts into words filtered endlessly out of the hole. 24 hours a day, without end. The cherry blossom tree watched over this the entire time. I doubt it was something it wanted to see. I think even if it wanted to look away, it couldn't. That's torture. After living for 1,000 years, that's undoubtedly the most terrifying thing it ever saw. You try watching something like that without taking your eyes off it. It's only natural that it would drive a person insane, let alone a tree full of emotions. When I think about how it must have felt, I feel bad. Not only that, but those bodies would have gone on to feed the tree, keeping it alive. The people who died in war and bearing grudges, they slowly began to rot and assimilate with the dirt. The tree lived by taking in their essence. Not only their bodies, but the souls of those discarded would have returned to the dirt as well. So the tree took in the malice of hundreds of souls. You should take a good look at it next time. When you stare at it, you can see the faces of those in pain float up to the surface of the trunk. That's what the knots in wood look like, don't you think? It's not just a coincidence. Without a doubt, that's the malice of innumerable bodies after bodies piled on top of each other. And that malice carves itself into the tree, one after the other. If you think I'm lying, why don't we go and have a look for ourselves? I can see them. So I think you should be able to as well. Right? You want to go? Let's go. I thought so. I don't tell lies. All right, then let's go. It really is creepy around the old school building, huh? To be honest, I don't really like places like this. Whenever I come somewhere like this, I worry that something else might be nearby. Look, that's the tree. That cherry blossom tree. After hearing the story, doesn't it seem even creepier than usual? It does, right? Let's get a little closer. You gotta look real close at it. That's right. Close enough to lick it. Well, do you see it? The faces of those who died in pain. Don't you see them all? That hollow around there is too big to just be a coincidence. It drank all that blood. It took in all those souls. The bones of those people are still buried beneath this tree right now. Can you see them? Did you see? No. That's odd. You seem like you'd be able to see the other side. Look a little closer. Get right up against the tree. Try smelling it. Can't you smell something strange mixed in with the freshness of the tree? Kinda like sulfur, or rotten eggs, or burning corpses. Right? Don't you feel it? Can you see anything? Not yet? Not yet. Strange. You should see them. Put your hands on the tree trunk. Yeah. If anyone can see them, it'd be you. Put your face a little closer. 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 Well, did you see them? You did, didn't you? If you didn't, that's proof that you're not able to see the other side very well. And if you did, well... Well then, let's go back to the room. We gotta listen to the next person's story, don't we?